For cheap gold, items and other boosts for Diablo 4, visit aoeah.com. Check out the link in the description, you get 3% off with the code ARIAT. Hello and welcome everybody. In today's video, we'll be focusing on the Infernal Hordes, we'll discuss how to maximize points, and have a look at the concept in general and some specific points in detail. Basics first. The Hordes consist of up to 10 waves of monsters, depending on the difficulty level, followed by a final boss fight against 3 members of the High Council. After each wave, you can choose a modification. Those can be used to generate more points, but the monsters will also gain certain bonuses. With only few exceptions, these mods remain active for the rest of the match, and each round adds a new mod. So with every wave, the difficulty grows a bit, but also the rewards. After completing the Horde, you can spend the ether points you've earned by opening reward chests. The large chest, which costs 60 points and has become worthwhile since the patch, can only be opened once, while the 20-point chests for items and materials can be opened multiple times. In the material chest, you can find the upgrading materials, which can also be farmed in the pit. In a Horde level 7, 25 nether irons drop from the chest, not on every opening, but often enough to leave with a decent amount. In an average run, you will get about 600 to 700 nether iron, which makes it more time efficient compared to the pit. In good runs, you can even get more than 1000 nether iron, and even in a bad run, you'll still manage to get about 500. At level 8, you will get nether iron in stacks of 30, making it even more worthwhile if you complete it just as efficient, because efficiency will be the key to higher amounts of points. You can get ingolits at levels 5 and 6, and optocytes at the lower ones. To obtain nether iron, it's necessary to complete at least level 7 of the Horde, and even if you manage to complete level 8, it can be more efficient to farm at level 7. To collect as many points as possible, you need to understand 3 key aspects. First, kill speed is very important, because killing monsters triggers various ether events, from which we finally get the points. These ether events include soul spires, ether fiends or masses, as introduced in the season quest line. But there are also some other events from which you can get even more points. We'll discuss that in a moment. The main point is, you should always eliminate the masses of normal monsters as quickly as possible, because filling the bar on the right side of the screen will spawn new ether events. Of course, you should also complete these events as quickly as possible to collect the points. Second, it's important to pay attention to the minimap and respond to the events. They always spawn in the same locations, top, bottom, right and left, and they are signaled on the map before. Third, choosing the right modifiers is also significant, because this determines which ether events occur and how many points they give. Since 3 random mods are always available to choose from, luck plays a role here too, so some runs will have a lot more potential than others. You won't score high when the right mods don't appear or just come too late. Some pro players even abort a Horde run if no good mods appear within the first 3 to 4 waves, and just start a new attempt. Now let's look at the different ether events, starting with Group A. In my opinion, these are the best mods for generating lots of ether. Included are the Hellborns, because they offer many different mods which can also empower each other and generate many points. The Burning Hellborns, for example, synergize with the Burning Rain, and the Surging Hellborns increase both the number of appearing Hellborns and the amount of ether they give. So this is one of my favorite mods. The Invigorating Hellborns can also be useful, even though they don't give additional points. After killing a Hellborn, the character gets a significant buff which increases kill speed, and you will also get that buff at the final boss fight. The Surging Elite is also one of my favorites, as the double chance of elite monsters ensures that more Hellborns appear, as well as more Ether Fiends. Fiends are my second favorite Ether event, and since the patch they also drop more Ether. The Exalted Horde is also a very good mod, because it makes the Ether events spawn much faster. This can also help you to get more Hellborns out of a wave. When running the Hordes, I generally prioritize these mods, and I'm also happy getting them multiple times, because their effects stack. In Group B, I've put the mods that can also be useful and at least increase the amount of either. Masses and Soul Spires have the drawback of despawning after the timer runs out, so they simply disappear and don't drop any ether. Event monsters like Hellborns, Fiends and Lords will stay alive, and you have to defeat them to complete the round, but they will give you ether. In Group C, we have all the mods that provide only little or no extra points. At least the penalty you get is very weak, so there is a reasonable case for choosing such a mod, when it's the lesser evil, because we also have a special group, Group S. Here we have mods like the Butcher or Ether Lords. Be careful with those. If you lack in boss kill speed, these mods can destroy a good round. If you can't kill them fast, they will just take you too much time, in which you could defeat masses of Hellborns instead, and earn lots of points. Group S mods only can pay if you play in team and have a strong boss killer in your party, who defeats Butchers and Lords fast and easy. But even in that case, I would still prefer the Hellborns if there is a choice. By the way, the Butcher mod will let him appear only once and not every wave, so this mod only pays within the last 2 rounds. In the early match, other mods will give you more than 25 points in total, because they stack up and will be active until the end. Without a boss killer, you should avoid these mods, so if you can choose between Butcher, Lords or a Group C mod, the latter one can be the better option to save points. During the Hordes, the Butcher can also spawn randomly, just like in Nightmare dungeons, so he can also appear when not choosing the mod. Finally, there are some further different mods that give a bonus of 15 ether points after killing the High Council. These mods can also be an option within the last 2 waves. They don't really pay when using them early, for the same reasons as with the Butcher. It's definitely a big advantage to run the Hordes together with multiple strong players, because even though the monsters get stronger, it pays off in the end. On the one hand, group play is more safe, because you can revive each other, so when accidentally dying, you won't necessarily lose a revive. On the other hand, a group can split up in between to trigger and complete the events faster and get out more points. Communication is very helpful here. It's also advantageous if the group contains both single target damage for boss kills and area damage for the masses. Like that, you can better compensate for each other's weaknesses and maximize the efficiency in total. That leads us to the end of this video. I wish you lots of ether, take care, and may the loot be with you.
Follow me. Thank you. Goodbye.